Is Catherine Owens in the back? We'll deal with her last, I think. Which of the 1045 ones? She is one of them. I think Mr. Mishka is a 1045. Yes. Joseph Mishka, would you come forward, please?
Good
morning, sir.
I'd like to apologize for
For what?
the way I was acting last time I was in here.
Oh, well, all right. Well, maybe we'll have a better day today. This is file 252201FY. Defendant is here with his lawyer, Casey Strong, and Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Angelique Camfield is here for the plaintiff. Defendant was charged with resisting and obstructing, domestic violence, and assault and battery.
This is where everything starts to unravel. A 21-year-old defendant stands before the court after what began as a family argument fueled by alcohol and spiraled into assault and resisting an officer. The charges were originally more serious, but now the court is weighing whether he deserves a second chance under the Holmes Youthful Trainee Act. That decision could determine whether this follows him for life or disappears from his public record entirely. The prosecutor paints a picture of chaotic arrest, yelling, refusal to comply, even a fixed-blade knife in his pocket. The judge already knows alcohol was involved. Now the question becomes, was this a one-time lapse in judgment or a pattern forming? Stay with this, because what happens next will show exactly how much patience this courtroom is willing to extend.
Brothers' words were exchanged. There was alcohol involved. And
I did not know they were brothers. I knew they were roommates. He's your brother?
Yeah, pretty much.
But he's not your biological brother?
No.
All right. Okay.
And the plea agreement was reflective of the facts and circumstances of the report. The request from defense and the defendant is to give him the opportunity. We've had a long conversation about HYTA probation, and he understands that it's an opportunity. And it's an opportunity to either have a rope to pull himself out of this behavior or not have the benefit of that HYTA status.
All right. Ms. Camfield?
Thank you, Your Honor. I note that there was an officer passing somebody on the street who indicated that there was a fight down the street. When he got to the residence, he did see the defendant yelling and causing a scene, told him to come down to speak with them. He refused those commands. He indicated that as he walked towards him, he was going to detain him to complete the investigation. He was pulling away from him, continued to yell at him and avoid compliance with the commands. Thankfully, it did not escalate beyond that because it could have been a very unsafe situation for the defendant as well as the officers involved. It's my understanding that there was an argument about what somebody was saying about the defendant's mother. He struck him in the face, the victim in the face, a couple of times until he was able to push him off of him. I don't know that there was no medical attention. There was minor redness around the victim's face and neck. This is the defendant's first formal criminal charges as far as I can see. And our office is not objecting to HYTA. In these types of circumstances, I think that some upfront jail, even just a weekend, is appropriate given the fact that A, it was reduced from a felony, B, the situation could have escalated into something much more severe, and C, it gives him an opportunity to sit and think about his behavior and reformation before he begins a HYTA probation to hopefully keep this off of his record formally. I would recommend that probation with a substance abuse assessment and any counseling that probation determines would be appropriate be ordered, and that there be no assaultive, harassing, threatening, intimidating behavior with the victim or any of the others. Basically, it's the victim that was present at the scene, Your Honor. no consumption of alcohol. That seems to have been one of the escalating factors as well. He actually also had to be taken to the ground on the way to the patrol unit after arrest. So he also had a fixed blade knife in his left pocket.
I never got a blood alcohol. Sometimes you'll see it on the booking form. And they just put question mark, question mark. Problem is, Mr. Mishka, you were good and drunk, which is what led us to all this. You spent 3 days in jail at the front end before you bonded out. You got arrested on the 25th. You bonded on the 28th. By some counts, that's 4 days. By our count, it's 3. Who bonded you out? And who's that?
April Woods.
Okay.
Zachary's mom.
All right. So the man you got in a fight with, his mom bonded you out.
Yep.
All right. And he has no hard feeling about this?
No.
Apparently, we've never got any victim input from him. What do you want me to know?
Not sure.
Well, how old are you right now?
21.
And where are you working?
Peak Plastics in Congleton.
All right, same place when I saw you before.
Yes, sir.
Are you getting overtime or just 40 hours a week?
40 a week.
How do you get back and forth to work?
I walk.
You had some traffic stuff. Have you got your license squared
I
away?
got my license.
All right, you had no insurance and some other
Yeah.
things, so, but you had a valid license, but you drive to work or walk to work.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give this a shot. I have some, if I gave you a test right now, would it show marijuana?
Yes, sir.
All right, marijuana is lawful for 21-year-olds to consume for recreational purposes, but when you're on probation, you can't smoke weed. So on the assault and battery, just going to give you 3 days credit, 3 days. Concurrent with the attempted R&O. The probation will be on the attempted R&O case. That's punishable by up to a year in jail. So you have a year hanging over your head. It's not likely you're going to get a year in jail for this, but it also could be construed as a felony for further habitual supplementation. An attempt of a felony is a felony under the Code of Criminal Procedure, and you could be charged as a habitual offender unless you complete this HYTA.
This is a turning point. The judge is making something very clear. This is not just a slap on the wrist. Attempted resisting and obstructing may sound reduced, but legally it still carries serious weight, potentially even habitual offender consequences down the road. That year hanging over your head isn't just symbolic, it's leverage. And notice how the court frames probation, not as punishment, but as a structured opportunity. No alcohol, no marijuana, drug testing, anger management, financial penalties. This is accountability, layered with restraint. The judge is essentially saying, I'm giving you the rope, what you do with it is on you. And here's the real question. At 21, with admitted marijuana use and alcohol playing a role in the offense, can he realistically comply? Because if he can't,
Get discharged after 6 months. That's $480. Set that up. 150 plus 200 plus 480 is 830. As your lawyer says, you mostly don't have any criminal record other than some minor traffic stuff. And you're young, That's one of the reasons for this whole statute is young people sometimes make impetuous mistakes. I'm going to send you to the anger management class. There's a lot to do here to earn this. We're going to do drug and alcohol testing as directed. No alcohol and no drugs, including marijuana. No assaultive or threatening behavior. This is a big pill for a 21-year-old to say, hey, you can't drink or smoke marijuana. We call it a timeout. We get lots of young people getting drunk driving arrests. And it's like, this is not good. So you get a free pass here. You can take this off your record. We're going to do no drugs and no alcohol and test as directed. No assault or threatening behavior. You're going to do the anger management class because you certainly were angry. And if you do it, the trick will be the faster you can do the class, the faster you can complete the probation. You need to pay for the class. So, Mr. Mishka, I'd like you to make a believer out of me, and you complete this. Have these taken off your record.
How much is that class?
I don't remember. I think it's like $480. I have to do HYTA also on the A and B, or I can't remove it. All right, I'm going to give you this form and ask you to take it downstairs to the probation department. They'll get you plugged into this. And if all goes well, I won't see you anymore and you can get on with your life. If it doesn't, you could do at least 30 days and maybe more. So let's hope for the best. At this point, the case becomes non-public. All right, you go with it. Well, you just take this form downstairs to probation. Good morning, sir. Mr. Moore is one of those guys that made some dumb mistakes when he was this kid's age, and now he's older. He has been crime-free for 10 years or more. He's employed. He doesn't come visit me anymore, and things are better. But we got an impaired driving charge to deal with. Ms. Strong, what would you like me to know?
Thank you, Your Honor. We would thank Mr. Huff for putting together the recommendation and report. While it is reflective of the facts and circumstances in the instant offense section, he is recommending 3 days jail, credit 1, leaving 2 to serve. And I do not see that he's recommending a term of probation. If that is the recommendation of the probation officer, I would ask those 2 days, as indicated in the report, to be scheduled on a weekend so that Mr. Moore can keep his employment.
Ms. Canfield, what would you like me to know?
Your Honor,
Oh, this is an ordinance
yes,
case, yes.
I have to remain silent on this one.
You might have an opinion about it,
I
but
was just
you
gonna
don't
say.
have standing to express it.
I'm certainly I do.
Mr. Huff, thank you for the report. I think Mr. Moore was quite straightforward with you. He's matured a lot since he and I first met many years ago. I'm pleased to see where he is in life, but this wasn't the greatest. What would you like me to know?
I would just second what you had said, about Mr. Moore. He presented as very open and honest about what was going on. He did not shy away from taking responsibility for his actions. Calls it a bad decision. Sorry, not dumb. A bad decision that he was caught up in the moment. I did struggle making a recommendation in this one because of the fact that the legislature changed for the presumption of fines and
Well,
costs.
let's talk about that. Luke argues that very well. Yesterday, we discussed it. Drinking driving cases are presumed to be non-serious misdemeanors. I had one where I overcame the presumption by a bunch of terrible facts. But this just seems like impaired with a blood alcohol at the low end of our scale. He wasn't uncooperative or disrespectful to the police. So yeah, there's a statute that was put in place in Michigan as part of the Criminal Justice Reform Act that puts in a presumption that the judge won't order jail or probation in most misdemeanor cases. And all of us, especially old guys like me, have to remind ourselves that that statute's in effect, because for most of my career it wasn't. And there was a presumption under Judge McManus that you got 1 day sober and 1 day drunk. Other than that, Mr. Huff, you have anything to add?
I would just say I had that conversation with Mr. Moore about him kind of being, in my opinion, kind of on the fringe between the two, and that him not having a license, being over the legal limit, and then having a somewhat dated criminal history may be enough for that to be pushed over into additional jail. Explained to him this possibility. And again, he didn't shy away from taking responsibility. The only request he made to me was that that if jail is found to be appropriate and assigned to him, that he be given the opportunity to schedule it around work, because he does have a good job going for him right now that he's held for approximately 3 years in Chicago, Illinois.
Mr. Moore, what would you like to say to me?
Well, you know, man, you got history. Came in this courtroom with 19 years old for a courageous crime that I did. Went to prison 15 years. I became a man in prison. I learned to be held for my actions and decisions I make in life. This decision was bad. Like I said, I got caught up in the moment of my grandchild being born. I was coming to visit, and I made a decision that could have hurt me, my fiance, or someone else. And with that being said, sir, you never got to worry about this happening again. I'm not perfect, but I learn as I go. And it's just something that I want to get behind me and move on. I have a good job. I have a great life going for myself. And I'm making my parents and my kids, my grandkids proud of me. So that's all that I can live for at this moment.
All right. I forgot something. He did not have a valid license. It's my recollection. They didn't cite him with that.
The officer notes it in the police report. It just says that there's not a valid license.
Yeah. So there are some aggravated factors. He was without a license. He got a call in. We have so many accidents on 131. Driving southbound from Flowerfield to Three Rivers, which is probably 9 miles, 8 miles, weaving all over the road. I can't even tell you how many accidents we've had in that stretch. We recently, even though they improved the highway drastically, had a couple more cases where people going the wrong way, southbound during the northbound lanes and vice versa. He's going 70, he's coming by, he's weaving all over the road, and he doesn't have a valid license. I'm going to split the difference here. Yeah, Mr. Moore was 19, and I'm glad to see that he's made it his life. I'm gonna order 2 days, not 3. 2 days jail credit, one, the old 1 day sober, 1 day drunk. The speed, the lack of a license, the swerving all over the road down a dangerous road for I don't know how many miles, but at least 9, probably much more than that. Fortunately, this wasn't worse. We'll do a day which will be scheduled on the weekend. When do you want to do it? Saturday night? If I do it Friday night, you'll get out 7 o'clock Saturday. If I do it Saturday night, you'll get out 7 o'clock Sunday. Which works better for you?
You know, I live out of state, so I'm trying to find out how do my.
Matt, can you work this out with him?
I can work it
All
out.
right, we'll have it set up by the probation department. Other than that, no probation, fine and cost $300, $75 crime victims' rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, $100 screening fee, attorney fee of $150. And was there a police?
It wasn't contained inside the police report that was given to me from Three Rivers Police Department.
Well, they're getting sleepy on this. I forgot. Who's Marquita to you?
Marquita.
Yeah, the car was registered to Marquita Shelton, or well, it was turned over to Marquita Shelton.
She's like I watched her grow up.
Yeah, me too. So she's like a niece or something to you?
Like a cousin.
Yeah, everybody's related to everybody. She's a nice lady, and she came and got your car, which was a bonus because otherwise they would have towed your car and you had to pay the impound and all of that.
My fiance was in the car, but she don't know her way around here, so I called her and her come get my fiance in the car. The officer, I must say, he was pretty understandable. He was pretty cool gentleman. You know, he wasn't giving no, just let me know what's going on, and I like how you carry yourself.
The cops that you and I knew back in the day are all gone.
I see.
Some are gone. Kenny Baker, Earl Stark.
Ain't gone, as in deceased.
Earl Stark is deceased.
Oh, I didn't know.
I have his picture in my office. He looks at me every time I walk in the courtroom, make sure I'm doing it right. Anyway, we just got older together is how that went. Let's add that up. That's $585. Can you pay that by March 1st?
Yes, sir.
All right. You can pay it online. You can pay by credit card. You can pay with green cash. I'll send.
I like pay a half and half.
Yes, for sure. I'll have you go with Mr. Huff and he'll schedule that weekend or that 1 day. I didn't do a weekend. I figured 1 day, but it is aggravated.
Thank you, Mr. Middleton.
All right, Mr. I'll be here for another year, so I will be. So how about if you don't come back and see me in that year?
I'll see you for the retirement part.
Okay. All right. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
This is file number 251878FY, People versus Antonio Wayne Lee Wilson. Mr. Wilson was charged with malicious destruction of property over $1,000 and assault with a dangerous weapon. The complainant was his girlfriend's or his sister's boyfriend. The matter was reduced to 1 count of malicious destruction of property over 200, but less than 1,000. And I had a question about how much it was because you did a lot of damage. You bashed in his car doors. You threw a brick through his window. And this was not the answer to this question. So we have now a misdemeanor. They are again not objecting to height of probation, and there are some restitution issues. So, Ms. Strong, what would you like me to know?
Thank you, Your Honor. As indicated at the time of Mr. Wilson's plea, this was a circumstance that arose from some disturbing news that he found out about his sister and his sister's boyfriend. The damage was done to the sister's boyfriend's mom and dad's property, and Mr. Wilson took responsibility for his actions up front at the time of the probable cause conference, and the plea agreement is reflective of that responsibility being taken. Again, I would ask for consideration under the HYTA statute to allow Mr. Wilson to move forward and complete a term of probation and have this as a non-public record. There is a significant restitution request, which a term of probation would allow the monitoring of that being paid, and I would ask the court to consider that.
Thank you. Ms. Camfield, what's your position here?
Your Honor, this is quite an involved situation, as the court is aware. We do have victim impact input from the Bennetts with respect to the items that were damaged. Not only the window, but once it was in the house, the brick damaged a cupboard and a countertop. They did submit an estimate for replacing and repairing those particular items, I believe of $2,505. We would request that that be ordered to be paid by the defendant. It was actually John and Linda Marsman. And we'll be sure that we provide that address off the record and live stream for the court to be able to send that once it's received. There are requests by...
What about the, okay, I don't have the damage on the car doors.
Yes. They said that they had a $2,500 deductible and the damage to the vehicle was under $2,500. It's not clear to me whether they really submitted for just the house, because I don't see any request for the damage to the vehicle.
Well, that was sort of Mr. Bennett, I believe, got charged with an assault. He claimed that Daisy Wilson, the defendant's sister, assaulted him.
Correct.
But they had a child, I think, and they had some issues, and they got into some sort of a issue. So Antonio comes over there, and he's just going to make things worse. But it says he vandalized his vehicle by running into the open car doors, bending the hinges on multiple doors.
Mm-hmm.
Bennett says he was inside recording the incident, and Antonio threw a brick through the kitchen window at him. So this is very reckless behavior. But getting your car door hinges bent could cause all kinds of damage, both to the body panels and the doors. And so I may have to reserve on that portion of it. Did we get any input from Mr. Bennett?
I have not received input from Mr. Bennett, only the Marsmans.
All right, Mr. Wilson, what would you like me to know?
That attacking his car was a group activity thing. Me and my sister both attacked his car.
Yeah, she was listed as a co-defendant.
I mean, I didn't go over there all hot crazy. I didn't go over there just to smash, you feel me?
Well, what happened? Did you get there and then lose it?
I said last time that my sister called me crying. That was with my mom, chilling with her, and she called me crying, saying that her boyfriend beat her up, slammed her, dropped her off in the middle of nowhere. So I went over there to go pick her up. Then once I got there with my mom, she got in the car, and there was red marks all over her. She was crying and shit. Then we went there to go get her stuff. Then he wouldn't let her in, and they were talking shit to each other, and that's when we attacked his car and that did the break.
Well, that pretty much sums it up. You've had a bad year.
Yeah, pretty wild year.
April, no insurance. It was reduced and you haven't paid the fine yet.
Because I got in a car accident, put me down for a little bit, so I couldn't really work.
Yeah, part of your very bad year. After that, I think it was a car accident in April.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't have insurance on your car, so you got that. You also had no license at that time. Then you got another no insurance on April 30th. You got two right in a row and no license. So you got April 7th and April 30th. One of those you still owe on. Then you got a speeding 95 and a 55, which you still owe on. Failed to yield for an emergency vehicle, which you still owe on. And a disorderly person from the city of Three Rivers that I think you also still owe on it.
Your Honor, I just did want to note from the police report that Deputy Middaugh did state that Daisy didn't have any visible injuries, nor were there any that he could photograph, but Mr. Bennett had red marks on his right arm, stomach, chest, neck area, scratch marks to his neck, chest, and arm. So it contradicts what the defendant just told the court.
Then he had another driving without a license in June. So the date of this incident in April, when he went to get her, he didn't have a license and he wasn't even supposed to be driving.
My mom was driving.
Oh, okay.
I was with her.
Well, even whether you went there mad or didn't, you lost it when you got there. And now you got this felony charge and you threw a brick through his parents' window. There was a 2-year-old son in there, who I believe is your nephew. Just bad deal all the way around. And your lawyer's right. We resolved this right off the bat. You only spent 1 day in jail. What are you doing now?
Working, taking care of my grandma.
Where are you working?
Applebee's, been there for like 2 months, 2-3 months.
Very good. What are you doing there?
Cook.
Well, you're gonna have the same problem Mr. Mishka has. You're gonna not be able to use any alcohol or smoke any marijuana. I gave you a test today. Would it have marijuana in it?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not sure whether you guys can get over the hump. So let's talk about this. In order to do this Holmes Youthful Trainee probation, you can't use any drugs, including marijuana, and you can't drink any alcohol. No assaultive or threatening behavior. You're going to have to pay this restitution and all your outstanding tickets, and you're not to get in any other trouble. If you do, you lose the Holmes trainee status, and you will probably very likely go to jail. Do you think you could do this probation?
Yeah.
All right, I'm order 61 days in jail, credit 1, leaving 60 days to serve. I'm going to defer all 60. I'm going to pick the fine 0 because you got so much other stuff to pay. $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, $150 attorney fee, $480 probation oversight fee. Reserve Bennett. And I clicked out of that page. What was the amount again, Miss Canfield? For
2,505, Your Honor.
no drugs and no alcohol.
For how long?
All right, good. That'll be a timeout. Plus, you'll save money you can do to pay on this. Pay all outstanding tickets. I want you to get your driver's license. Where are you in that process?
I already have it.
Very good. When did you get it?
I've been had it for like a month now.
All right, let me see it.
It's in the car.
All right,
Yeah,
I'll take
bringing
it.
it in.
Good for you. Once you get on the driving suspended merry-go-round, you can't get off of it. And you are eligible under the Holmes Youthful Trainee Act. So at this point, the case becomes non-public. I'd like to not see you anymore. I'd like to see you stay out of here. Did you get sued by the other insurance company in that automobile accident?
No.
Good.
For which one? In April?
Yeah.
I wasn't driving.
Oh, okay, good.
I was a passenger.
If we get a request from Mr. Bennett regarding these doors and the car, we may have to have further hearing regarding that.
That car is still open case then?
Well, you're not going to get another charge, but the prosecutor hasn't given me a number. Apparently, he hasn't asked for any about how much the restitution is.
3 defendants, 3 different fact patterns. One consistent judicial theme, accountability paired with opportunity. In the first case, alcohol and impulsivity led to assault and resistance, but probation under HYTA keeps the door open for a clean slate. In the second, a man with a heavy past return on an impaired driving charge, and the judge balanced public safety with measured restraint. 1 day sober, 1 day drunk. And in the final case, property destruction driven by emotion could have turned far worse, especially with a child inside the home. Yet the court again chose structured probation over immediate incarceration. The message is unmistakable. Second chances are available, but they are conditional. Every one of these defendants now has jail time hanging over their heads. Compliance means freedom. Violation means consequences. If you found this case as intense as we did, hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't